Hi guys, I hope you guys doing well. So this podcast gonna be how I turned my Intel MacBook Pro into Windows 11 Pro laptop. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. You guys know I recently started my official channel. It's Shreehari Nepal official. Please subscribe this channel. I'll try to put lots of motivation video like a technological inspiration, travel, whatever I can make it, I'll do it. Today we talk about how I turned my Intel MacBook Pro 2020 into Windows 11 Pro laptop, which is sitting my whole day that on more than a year on my side. I haven't used it. So let me start how it works. This is more about the podcast. I'll tell you, and if you guys like, please comment. I'll make a video step by step. Today, I want to share something interesting I just completed. I had a 2020 Intel MacBook Pro with a quad-core Intel i5, 16 gigabyte of RAM, and around 500 gigabyte of SSD storage. Instead of buying another Windows laptop, I decided to see whether I could completely remove macOS and turn this MacBook into Windows 11 Pro machine. And yes, I finally got it working. But it definitely wasn't as simple as plugging in the Windows USB and clicking install. The first challenge was creating the Windows 11 installation drive, which I found the Windows install.wim file was too large. It's more than 7 gigabyte for FAT32. So I had to use WIMLIB in the Mac, another Mac, because I have a two Mac, so that's help each other, which is a free. You can download WIMLIB from the website. Split the into smaller file. I make it that to 3 files. Then I download Apple's Bootcamp Windows support software, so Windows could recognize the MacBook hardware. So it's more about the software and hardware connection. That whole process take me more than 12 hours. As today I started this process from 2 p.m. and the midnight 3 a.m. I finish it all. Because sometimes it gives small problem. Let's talk about when I first booted Windows setup, I had another problem. The keyboard and trackpad weren't working properly. So I prepared a special set of Apple drives, including the Apple USB, multi-touch trackpad, and Intel serial I/O drivers. Finally, the trackpad start working. Then Windows 11 give me the another challenge, TPM 2.0 and secure boot requirements. Because this Intel Mac doesn't expose TPM to Windows in the normal PC way, I had configured the Windows installer so it could continue on this hardware. After that, I completely removed macOS and installed Windows 11 Pro on this MacBook internal SSD, but we weren't finished yet. Wouldn't Windows couldn't initially find Wi-Fi, so I loaded the Broadcom Bootcamp Wi-Fi drivers. Once Windows was installed, I installed the complete Apple Bootcamp driver package that got the trackpad, keyboard, touch bar, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, audio, and other Apple hardware working. Then I discovered another unusual problem. Windows thought it was running as a window to go. That means Windows is dependent on my external hard drive, which is Win 11, I put it in the name. And then MacBook was still depending on my external installation drive. I correct that window configuration, but when I removed the external drive, the Mac showed the famous flashing folder with a question mark. That told me the internal SSD didn't have a working EFI boot partition. So I have another issue and I create the new 300 megabytes EFI System Partition on the internal SSD and rebuild the window boot file using the BCD boot. And finally, I disconnect the external hard drive, turn on the MacBook Herald option, Windows appear. I selected Windows and I booted completely from the MacBook internal SSD. After installing the remaining Intel drivers and running Apple software update, device manager was clean and everything was working. So now this old MacBook Pro has become my dedicated Windows 11 Pro business laptop, and I'm planning to use it for travel port GDS and travel business work. One limitation, the MacBook built-in Touch ID fingerprint sensor doesn't work as a Windows Hello fingerprint authentication. For that, I'll need an external Windows Hello fingerprint reader, but apart from that, the conversation has been successful. So if you have an older Intel MacBook sitting around, don't automatically assume you need to buy another Windows laptop. With the right drivers, some troubleshooting, and a bit of patience, you may be able to give that MacBook a completely new purpose. If you had liked me to make a full step-by-step video showing exactly how I install Windows 11 Pro on this MacBook, comment below. And if this video helped or interested, you like, subscribe and follow the channel for more technology, business and real-world project video. Thanks for watching guys. See you next time. Thank you.